people in the room. Make some noise, everyone. I've got someone new next to me.
Hi, I'm Rachel.
There you go. This is not polished at all. And it's me. My name's going to probably come up at some point. Yeah, so boom. This is what we're going to do. We've got 5 cards. Someone's going to pick a number 1 to 5. That's the topic. Anybody, first person to say it.
2.
We going that way or that way?
Well, you put them out, so you
All
tell
right,
me.
boom. Number 2. This is one for you. You chose this one. She lit up when this one came up.
Okay, so thank you for this.
Yeah.
Okay, so the topic is, why are black women often classed as bitter or angry? How did we get here? Okay.
We're straight in.
Straight
Rip the
in.
plaster right off.
No, hold on. Let's ask the question. Are black women actually classed as bitter or angry, though? No?
Don't just say
You know,
no
I
for the sake of
can
saying
hear
no.
some people saying no.
Yes, in the media, yes.
In the media, you'd say that we're classed as bitter and angry?
Yes.
Okay.
Media, definitely.
All right.
In terms of like, elaborate, what? How?
As the way they can be portrayed, like it's always bitter. Yeah.
Shouty.
Oh, in the media, like the way they can be portrayed, they can make it seem like black women are bitter and angry. I'm trying to think of something. Monique. That was a little while ago. Does everyone remember when Monique was talking about
her not being paid by Netflix?
Exactly, and it was like, oh, she's bitter, she's angry. So yeah, that's an example that I can.
It's like a get out, though, isn't it? It kind of invalidates if you've got a problem. It's like in life, even it happens to us. If you are too shouty or too animated, you're automatically classed as being aggressive.
But there are some black women who are bitter and angry. There are. And we have to acknowledge that.
Someone said, and for good reason. Who said that?
Okay, somebody said, and for good reason. We're not talking about the reasons, but the thing is, they have gotten to that point that they are bitter and angry. And what we do have to look at is that we cannot veer away from the fact that irrespective of whether or not we think they are, whether or not that society portrays it as, there are some who let us down and vehemently display their actions as bitter and angry.
So say Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah.
He is angry.
It's good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But is he portrayed as being bitter and angry, although he's angry and rude all the time?
That's his brand, though, isn't it?
I mean, I don't know.
Yes,
but
his brand.
I'm saying he doesn't get the same...
He doesn't.
Sorry.
I would say that there's other women from other cultures and races that they're passionate when they speak in the same kind of way, like Hispanic women, all of that kind of stuff. It's seen as like spicy, passionate,
spirited,
all of that kind of stuff. But when it's like black women, for some reason, it is that whole bitter and angry thing. And to be honest, how black are we talking? Because if you're looking in the movies, then the dark-skinned friend will be doing all of
the attitude
and all of that kind
yeah, of
stuff.
course.
And the light-skinned friend, she could be saying her 1s and 2s, but she's, you know, assertive, sticking up for herself, and she means business.
Okay, so we're veering into the colorism space at this moment.
When we're talking about black women as a whole, there's so many things that come into what it means to be a black woman. Even I'm 38. What it means to be a black woman that's 38 compared to 54, 25. We're growing up in different eras, and the things that are surrounding us, what we're couched in, and like she was saying, like how we're portrayed in the media, it's all about the cultural perspective. And so you get up through different eras and different times, and that same kind of behavior will be portrayed quite differently depending on what is the cultural perspective at the time.
Of course. But then again, I think we come back to that point where we have differentiation, and you're right in regards to bring up the differentiation of black women in different spheres and different eras. But we have to look at, are black women bitter in regards to how the media portray us, and is that the only explanation we're seen as? Yep.
I think as well we need to talk about what it means to be bitter and angry, and why is it so negative? Because actually it doesn't necessarily have to be negative. To be bitter, to be angry, they're emotions. You're allowed to have them. And I think it's really about a conversation of why aren't black women allowed to be angry or bitter? Because actually, they're normal emotions that we're all allowed to have. We're allowed to be angry. And actually, black women have a lot to be angry about.
Okay,
and
so
that's actually a separate
let me go,
conversation.
exactly, because there are so many facets of this conversation that we can veer down. And it's about, I suppose we look at where are we going with this conversation? Because if we're talking about a media depiction, most definitely, why are black women depicted as bitter and angry? And that's because potentially a narrative. Because what it does is it benefits somebody for black women to be bitter and angry. But why is that? And why is it that when that happens, the first thing we do is become defensive about it? Because if we know we're not bitter and angry, when people give you that title, why are you owning it?
What if we are, though? And what if we're allowed to say, actually, I am angry.
Okay.
I'm a bit bitter about certain things, and I want to say that. I think it's about the narrative of being, the, like you said before in films, the black friend who's the hype girl, or, you know, the one that's going to let their co-star shine. And so there has to be this element of, like, I don't know, like, there is less than in order for this person to be more than. But actually, you can still be really full and rich and still be angry and bitter about all the things that are going on in the world and in your life.
You're switched on. Yeah.
I just think, I think how can you not be awake in this world and not be a bit fucking angry?
Okay, but then, so let's take it out of the sphere of media. Let's talk about when we're walking along the road and you smile at your black sister and she doesn't smile back. Is she bitter and angry? Because on a daily basis, I walk along the train station, I walk along the platform, I smile good morning, and I get a cut eye, I get a look up and down, I get a, right, is she mad? She took it to me.
The universal hello is not universal anymore, that's all it is.
Yeah, but
we don't do that no more.
Again, we go back to the question, why are black women often classed as bitter and angry? If we are angry amongst ourselves and we cannot even say good morning, acknowledge our fellow sisters, how will we break this trope that why are we often classed as bitter and angry? How often?
Yeah.
This is, again, we're back to the same point.
I don't experience black women being bitter and angry towards me. So it's whom are we saying is bitter and angry? Because if I did say hello to someone, like another black woman, I've never experienced another black woman being bitter and angry towards me. So that is
it's your experience, exactly.
So I think it's an experience.
But how many women have had that experience? Because it does, again, you may not have had that. Whereas I know that I've experienced that, and why is that?
I think it's main character syndrome. I think you can be walking down the road and thinking that you're saying hello to this woman and she hasn't responded to you in the way that you want, but you're the main star in your movie and she's the main star in her movie, and you don't know what's happened just before you even smiled at her. You don't know what's on her mind, what she's thinking about, all of that kind of stuff. And I think that when you're black, there is this thing of excellence and exemplary behavior that's required all the time, and we try and act like everyone needs to be smiling at each other, high-fiving each other, all of these things. But I don't necessarily think other races have that expectation of each other. They are allowed to just be people and experience the world the way that they're experiencing. But for some reason, there is this standard that black people are supposed to operate, whether it's just walking down the street, in the workplace, looks-wise, in the bedroom,
everywhere,
intelligence, everywhere. And it's like, why do we always have to be peak of everything? Why can we not just be regular? And it's this whole thing of holding each other to this standard that is way above and beyond that everyone else is operating at, which is the problem. And I think that is why people are deemed as bitter. Because if you're not skinning teeth all the time, if you're not smiling all the time, there's something wrong. But actually, that's quite normal.
Plus, who's pushing the narrative anyway? It's not, 9 times out of 10, it's not us. Like, I'm not going to say, as a black man, black women are aggressive and all of you lot are aggressive and your all faces always itch up, and it's not us, but it's
maybe
people.
Not on this podcast.
Well, I mean, there's always someone that lets the team down.
No, but there are some people that will say, and as you will notice, I will play Angel's Advocate to push to find out what people's perceptions are. I will ask the questions, because if you don't ask them, you never get the full experience, because you may not have experienced it, but there are some people that do, and there are some people that experience it in the workplace, for example.
I was going to say that, yeah.
So, for example, you could have a black female manager, and there is sometimes that space where they are just want to be the only one, and they will have a potential bias against their other black sisters and just not allow that black sister to flourish. And those things happened. We cannot, just because we haven't experienced them ourselves doesn't mean it doesn't happen. So we have to have those discussions. Do you get what I mean? But in regards to often classed as bitter and angry, again, I think it goes back to what you said. I think it is that bitter and angry. What is that definition?
You know what as well?
What does it look like? And who has the right to say who can be and who cannot be?
Not to cut you, but you know what it is as well? Sometimes it's easier for someone to say you're being aggressive if you're trying to get your point across.
And it's easy to be dismissive of you if you're bitter and angry. And I don't have to listen to you because you're being dismissive and angry.
And that'll be, you'll be in a shop, you'll be trying to have a conversation with someone about trying to get a refund or something. And the minute your voice kind of goes up and up like a level, I can't talk to you, you're being aggressive. Oh my God, you're intimidating me. Because then by saying that,
it invalidates your point.
Yeah, the whole conversation is dead. They can just walk off. No one has to talk to you.
I don't have to give you a refund.
But you're not being... Sometimes we are very animated people, and it's not just black people. It's Asians, Chinese. Like we're very kind of. We speak with our hands. We're very kind of and the kids get it a lot as well, because kids will be like, your child is very animated. Oh, your child's very, he's got a lot of energy, or he's got a lot of. Do you know what I mean? But they're just being themselves. But in that, some people don't like it because it makes people feel uncomfortable. Because if you're not comfortable in yourself, but I am, and I'm comfortable enough to tell you that this is what I want, or I'm upset about something. If you're not comfortable, the easiest thing for you to do is dead the conversation. Best way to do that is to tell me I'm being aggressive. Anybody else comes, what happened there? You're just being aggressive. You know what they're like. Do you know what I mean? And that's what happens with... The thing is,
if you notice though, again, we're back to that often bitter and angry. Who has built that narrative for it to be able to be easily accepted?
It's not us.
Do you get what I mean? And I go back to your point again. I fully agree in regards to that standard of being held to account, because the moment, I think we was talking, I think it's one of our topics as well, it talks about the microaggression of behaviours in regards to tears. So the moment that somebody else cries because you've spoken your truth, you are now the aggressor. You may not have even actually said anything. You've just articulated that actually something is not right, you've not done something right, and all of a sudden the tears come out. And then you're then labelled as instantaneously, because that stereotype somewhere exists. Now, is it our responsibility to get rid of that as black people? I don't know.
Can't get rid of it.
Can you get rid of it?
No, it's always going to be a stereotype. It's like black men are always going to be seen as being strong. Or we should have rhythm. And we know that...
Or be good in bed.
Oh, well, that's a whole different... You've been waiting to say that. But do you know what I mean? Like, there's always... Stereotypes are always... There's always... And you can't undo a stereotype because they've been around forever. So... And it goes back to what you said about media and stuff. Unless it gets to a point... I'm going to get my Martin Luther King moment. Unless it gets to a point where the people that are making certain programs stop giving life to certain stereotypes, like there's no angry black woman in the program, or the guy doesn't sell drugs, or he hasn't just got out of prison.
But hold on, doesn't that responsibility fall to us?
Yeah,
why do we keep taking those roles?
No, but it's us,
why do we keep funding those films?
It's us. Sometimes it's us that's making a lot of the content now.
But who has to go and see them and fund them? If you stop funding and going to watch them, does the stereotype be maintained?
No, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Do you not think it permeates further than media, because you have like all of these black women that are dying in childbirth and stuff like that? So it's just this perception of strength and what a black woman is supposed to be able to bear anyway, pain-wise. So if you have black people, black women specifically, entering the medical system and are dying because they're not being given the appropriate medical attention, because no one is believing them when they're saying, I am hurting like this. When someone is showing up saying, I am emotionally hurting like this, people are still like,
no, right.
You're chatting rubbish. Yeah. And so it's not even like a media thing. I think that's one of the levels of it, but it's just across society, what someone is allowed to... the cross they're allowed to bear. And even like strong black woman, is meant to be a compliment, but
not, it's
actually it's
definitely
not a
not.
compliment.
Yeah.
It's not a
Definitely not. It's
compliment.
definitely
It's like you are supposed to carry the world on your shoulders. Yeah, and
Yeah,
if
you'll be
you
all right.
can't,
You'll be all right. You'll be
then you
fine.
failed as a black woman.
Yeah, you'll be fine. You'll be all right.
And so most of those women that are probably deemed as bitter are the ones that are saying, I'm
No
tired.
more.
I
tired.
can't carry this anymore. And because they won't continue with their burden, now they're being labelled as someone that is bitter.
Or difficult and angry.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Aggressive.
Okay.
Number what? You switching another number?
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you very much. That is topic number 1.
Go on.
Finished.
Number 1 to 4.
Okay, 1 to 4. Somebody shout a number. 3.
Well, I mash up the studio. All right. This is one for the men. The men will have something to say here because this is a bit more. The first one was kind of woman's business. This one is a little bit more us, slightly. Name 3 attributes of black men, 2 positive and 1 area of improvement. 2 attributes.
Of black men.
Yeah, or just men. Let's just open it up. Let's make it inclusive. Just men in general.
Sure.
Just men in general, across the board, universally, every type, every creed, every height, every weight, every age.
2 positive
And
and
one
one area of
that needs
improvement.
See, that's what I did. That was the sigh. You see. Go on.
One area of improvement.
1 area of improvement.
More emotional discipline. I think what we will class as emotional discipline now is suppressing our feelings and not naming our feelings, and we'll push things down until it erupts and comes out as anger.
Something else, yeah.
Or something else. I think us going through a process of understanding our feelings, our emotions, naming them properly, will allow us to use our emotions as tools in different situations, and that is real emotional discipline. You know, bottling things up.
That's learned, though. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of us, we struggle. Men in general, we struggle with that, because who teaches you that? At this age as well, where we're at now. If you haven't been taught before you get to, what did you say before? It was the age was what?
Between the ages of 14 and 25,
14 to
that
25.
level of guidance around those periods. And I know it starts a lot earlier in regards to cementing understanding and knowledge of self. But when you get to the ages of 14 and 25 for a young man, there is a lot that goes on within that period that guides and centers you for when you get to the ages of 40 plus. You look at 14 and 25-year-olds, they're searching of who they are, where their position in society is. You're looking at adolescence, you're looking at understanding body, you're looking at entering into relationships with others outside of their family, not just their school friends, but we're talking about physical relationships, emotional relationships. Now, if you're not taught that emotional burden that comes with trying to identify what it actually looks like. If you're in a single parent home, for example, potentially you may only see a female emotion and not know how that translates into you because you're not represented. So I think that maybe potentially be one area of development.
Yeah, and I hear you. I think as men now, though, we can't use that as an
Excuse.
No, it's a choice, isn't it?
Something, that I talk about with my brothers is, the role models that we looked for, we are those guys now. There's no reason why my friends can't be those role models. If I know what type of man it is that I needed between, did you say 14 and 25?
Even younger, maybe.
Or even younger, I can pick those men to be in my friendship circles, my business circles now. And like you said, Kieron, it's learned. Let me learn that behavior somehow, even at, my big age. So.
Yeah, and you know what the best learning tool is? If you tell your brethren that you have a heart-to-heart with your pal and he says, "Nah, you're all right." That's not your friend. You know what I mean? Like, if you really have a moment with one of your people, them as a man, and you're saying, "Listen, I'm not all right," and they turn around and they invalidate it, that's not your friend. You need new friends. 100%. Struggling.
So can you name me one positive?
What you say? Behind the camera?
I think the fact that we care, I think this generation of men, I'm proud of us because we are trying to be more than what we've seen before us. Even having this conversation about emotional discipline, and that's not. I know there's generation of men that would never have that conversation. Strong back, chest out, just push yourself through it.
Suck it up.
And I think there has to be a level of self-awareness where we define what we want for ourselves and how we're gonna, move through life. But the fact that we're taking the time to stop, listen, and understand how we can be better men for our families, for our communities. Yeah, like I said, this generation I'm very, very proud of.
I like that. So, 2 positive.
Are you asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
I don't know, I don't know. Because that would have been one, but you just took it. Thanks for that.
I had another one.
Go on. Yeah.
Go ahead.
No. You had another one.
Oh.
That will make the 2.
I thought you tried.
Be positive about yourself. Use yourself as.
Oh no, I'm a whole. No, we can't use me as an example. Yeah, I'm way too hard on myself.
But
What
are you positive about yourself as a man, the age you are, the life you've lived?
I
so
made
far?
I made it
What's
here.
one thing that you could say, you can pass and say, this is something I'm proud to be a man about.
To say that I'm way too hard on myself.
Is that something that you're proud about?
One of the things that does kind of I marvel at black men is that they still press forward with everything that's happening in the world. No matter what country they go to, they have this threat of violence against them. They have all of this, and they still, for the most part, show up believing that they can still be somebody.
We haven't got a choice.
They can still do
You have
something.
to keep going. You got to keep moving.
And I think that is something that is probably the number one trait of a black man that I admire. One that can still see his future when many people will believe that it could be cut short at any single moment. You're still making plans for the future. You're still trying to rear kids and have this vision of what it means to show up in the world. I think that is the biggest trait ever that we hardly celebrate. I think women celebrate that in themselves, but black men don't.
Yes, we haven't got a choice. We just do it. You get up, you just do it. How many times you get up, you don't want to get up? Daily. On a level. Like Monday is coming. Fix the bank holiday. Tuesday is coming. Tuesday, you're probably not going to want to get up a bit. You have to get up. You have to interact with people. You have to do something.
Conversation, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's why it's not celebrated, because it's just the norm for us to do it.
And I think maybe we need to change that. And I think I agree with you. I don't think we say it often enough how much we actually appreciate the men within our circles. I don't think we actually tell you enough how grateful we are that you are our protectors, because that is one of the attributes that I think that black men, as the question says, men in general, portray. They are our protectors, and maybe not all, but majority of you are. And it's not even just about the protection. It is about the level of commitment that you show to yourselves to continue to be able to keep going. Because as much as you say that it's the norm, innit? I have to. You don't have to. And the fact that you do, that's a positive attribute from my perspective anyway. One area of development I would say, again, I think it would be being open. The ability to be honest, and I know I'm going to probably get the backlash now. You can't handle the truth. We can handle the truth. You just don't like the response that we give you to your truth. Okay? Be truthful. Because you see, the thing is, nobody can't kill you for your truth, you know? Yeah? You may not get what you want from your truth, but try not to be selfish just because you want it. Yeah? That is my area.
That sounds
Do
very
you know,
specific.
yeah, it did.
It is very specific. It is.
It
You know
sounds
how
like
many
it sounds
times I've
like
had
you're
to...
Talking
about
to someone, you
age
should have
use.
looked in the camera and said, "You."
Yeah,
That didn't sound
no.
like truth.
We've
That
actually
sounded like
we've actually had a podcast
talking
where
to you.
men say that they do not tell women the truth because they will not get what they want.
Wow.
How many? Okay, I'm not even gonna. The camera's not even on you. But how many of you have lied to a woman to be able to get what you want?
Don't you dare put your hand up.
Oh, yeah.
Don't you dare.
Again.
That will be marked and it will be remembered and it will come up again. Don't you dare put
So
your
when
hand
you're
up.
saying be open, are you talking about be open about who they are? Are you talking about
Who
a
they
very
are,
specific
who they
scenario?
are, what they want, the scenarios that they're looking for.
So you're talking about being open to women about
Not even just
relationships
open
and
to
sex?
women, but be open about to your jobs. So, for example, you know categorically, you applied for a job. Okay, look, he's like,
And you lied on your CV.
you lied on your
Standard,
CV,
that's standard.
but no, which is fine. Hold on, wait, I'm not saying. No,
Standard.
but be open with yourself.
That's standard.
Be open with yourself, though.
Huh?
No.
What, to lie on your CV? That's standard. We're gonna go off, but we're gonna come back. That's standard.
Just sneak in a little bit.
What? That's standard.
No, it sounds like we're veering off into sort of
We
like
can go- we'll
general
come back. We'll
manipulation.
come back. No, we'll
There's
come back.
certain things, right? As a human being, all right, if you say, listen, right, all right, I can ride a horse. You're going for an acting job. You can't ride a horse, but you think, right, how many weeks before we start filming?
I gotta learn
I'm
how
gonna
to ride a
Be
horse.
open with yourself that you're not going to ride the horse, innit?
No, you're going to learn how to ride a horse.
Right, but
And so you're
be
gonna put
open
down
with yourself whether you're going to do that or not. Because there are
see.
certain people that will apply for a job, put some things on their CV. I know categorically they're not going on no Google to go and learn how to do Excel
And a lot
formulas.
of the time, people cannot maintain that or they cannot fulfill that. And that's not because they're a bad person or not because they're evil or in any way. They just can't maintain the perception that they would
facade,
like
the
to be.
The facade,
And
the-
it's not
the
necessarily-
potential lie.
Yeah, no, potential lie, but actually it's a, like, the better, the kind of...
The fantasy.
The better version of the person that they would like to
It's like
be.
you're selling
and
your
it's
house
a
and you're dressing up
potential
your house.
that maybe they can't fulfill for themselves. And actually that's tends to be what happens. So this person is
But then
lying.
I agree with this lady here. She said it's about alignment because if that's the person you would like to be, at some point,
But everybody has a person they would like to be.
right, no,
But
which is
how
fine.
good
But
are we are aligning
no,
that?
exactly. But you have to put in the work to become that person,
Some
right?
people don't.
Right.
When you're talking about this, yeah, all I can think of is Tinder swindler. I don't know why. Like, that's who he wanted it to be. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, anyway.
No, it's just really lying.
Hold on. Nah, I'm gonna save it. We're gonna no. It's fine.
You're
It's
gonna
fine.
save it, okay?
I'm gonna save it.
All right. Okay, so that is topic number 2. Over and done with.
1 to 3.
1.
You were looking from you had that in your mind for a long time. All right, I'm gonna open this up again because it's too specific.
Yep.
Do you believe all men, as a man, I'm asking you, I'm talking to you, right? Do you believe we should be encouraged more? This kind of ties into what you were saying, to emotionally express ourselves. And yeah, she said yes, and then do it so in however it's done. So we spoke about friends, therapy. Dion's a big thing on therapy and stuff, and just however in whatever medium you came close. I love this. You speak now.
He's got something to say.
love this. Go
You
on.
have something to say.
Nah, but the answer is yeah. If you think men should be a little bit more emotionally intelligent, I think that's what you're talking about, right?
I'm just saying emotional intelligence,
Emotionally expressive.
expressing
Yeah.
everything.
Yes, but to a degree.
All right,
Because
go
I'm
on.
going to be very honest. I think you need to be open with your partner to a level emotional. But I don't really think, as much as women say, yeah, I think if their man came home every single day just complaining with everything, after a while, she's going to be like, what's wrong with this brother? Not being funny. He ain't got no backbone or nothing. So if she really told you what's on his mind, you would break. So that guy kind of, I think you do need to be like, express yourself emotionally, but to a degree. If you really want to express yourself, go find a therapist and let it out. I don't think you should be doing that with your partner all day. There's only certain things you should be confiding in.
What I'm getting from you is you must be expressive, but be careful who you're expressive to.
Definitely.
Okay.
Oh, everyone agreed. Look at this. Look at this.
I'm
As what?
quite-
As
there's a unanimous agreement amongst the audience.
You can't use your partner as a.
I know this is a man topic and I don't want to get involved because I think men need to speak about this. But also I think I always find this particular question quite funny because women, we always complain about we want men to be this and men to be that. But we raise these men too. So we actually really need to be involved in making sure that these men are talking about how they feel and encouraging how they feel, because a lot of the time we're complaining about men are not open, but we are the women that create the men that are not open. And so we really need to kind of have a little bit of input in that as well. And not to say that when they go out in the world, they're not going to be affected by what, you know, is expected of men. But we need to, you know, try to nurture that. I think that's really important, you know, to kind of do it from that level as well.
I have so many questions.
I think that this goes to your question about, you know, men being more open. I don't know if that question is really should be rephrased as, are men dealing with their emotions in the right way? Because going back to what bro said, going home and then unleashing every single thing
at once
that is in your heart is not necessarily going to be beneficial. So it's, okay, you have an emotion. Are you dealing with it? Are you good? Is this going to sabotage our family, our community, because you're not dealing with this thing properly? I think that's really what's at the heart of that question. And going back to the original question, you know, should we be encouraged to express? I think it's understanding how men like to express their emotions. We all know that girls, they will sit on the phone for hours, or they will link up and maybe, I don't know,
do a brunch.
Do a brunch. And that's just that's normal for you. That's very, very normal. You know, I've seen as we get older, I see that women don't necessarily sacrifice their friendships in the same way men do as they're going through life. You know, I was talking with my boy on the way over here that, you know, link-ups are very, very rare.
They're rare
unless it's, you know, business focused or, you know, unless it's something to do with money more time. You don't tend to meet
How
up.
do you feel about that?
Honestly, saddened. You know, in those moments where you have a bit of that, like it's bank holiday weekend. Back in the day,
come on, man.
you link up. You know what you're doing, but it's like, hold on. For me, it surprised me. It's like, oh wait, this is a double bank holiday as well. And then now you're trying to scratch around to find
something to do.
What's the man them on? You see what I'm saying? So the fact that that shift has happened is quite saddening.
And even that's something, not to cut you, even that's something to cope with, because you might have 3 or 4 people that you've been tight with for 20, 30 years at this point, and you don't see them now. A couple of WhatsApp messages every now and again, you're in a group.
Say you're going to meet, never happens.
Never happens, because life gets in the way, and it's fine. But even coping with that, if you don't have, you've gone from having 3 or 4 friends that you're tight, everyone knows everything about everything, you speak all the time, to then not having that, who are you venting to? Because like you said, your missus, if you've got one, you can't talk to her about it because she's going to go and have a brunch and be like, this guy's getting on my nerves, man. Every day it's a complaint. You can't just, sometimes you want to sit and not do anything. If you've got kids in the house, you can't do that. Can't go out, who you going out with? You don't want to drink. You can't do, so where in that do you have an outlet to speak to or do or let off a bit of steam or do something? You don't.
So, going back to my point about brothers understanding how we need to express our emotions, I think therapy is fantastic, but it isn't for everybody. Martial arts or some sort of competitive sport,
100%.
I think is a beautiful way to, you know, focus your mind, not allow yourself to be distracted by the negative thoughts. But then it's that, you know, the aftermath of being in that intense environment. Actually, you can have a conversation, you know, that when they say the locker room talk.
Yeah.
Stuff. So I think there needs to be some work done in understanding how is it that we like to express our emotions and not necessarily do the cookie cutter thing and think, this is how women do it.
Yeah, let me try and...
So let's do exactly the same
There's no
thing.
prescriptive way, is there?
Yeah,
no.
Therapy's a good... I'm starting therapy next week.
Congratulations, bro.
I didn't want to clap.
Congratulations. I'm excited for you.
Yeah. See how it pans out. NHS.
Good
See
luck.
what happens. Yeah. See what happens. You had the mic. Go on.
I think one of the major things as well is prioritizing it. Off your point, however that looks like, you need to prioritize it diarize it. Like, I have self-care Sundays, so I know that every Sunday I am doing this for me, and that could range from anything from Netflix in bed, speaking to my friends, or like just having a long soak in the bath. But I need to clear and purge. So it's like men also need to raise that to the same level of importance. Men will go football, they will go to the gym, they will do all of these things that stack out their diary, but do they actually have this time that they set aside for, this is me processing and working on myself, whatever that looks like? Because like you said, it's not a cookie cutter approach, and it has to be, you need to take it as serious as you do all of the other aspects of yourself.
It's mad because Dion said that to me. We had a conversation the other day. She was like, "What do you do for yourself?" I couldn't answer the question. I couldn't answer it. I was like, even now, I'm sitting there thinking, I don't actually do any of that. Whatever the male equivalent of that, lying in the bath. I'm not going to do that. But do you know what I mean?
But brothers, you can answer this. Isn't going gym, playing football?
Nah.
Is that not our equivalent?
I feel like it is, but it isn't.
It's a distraction because it's not going internal. It's just like
Going through the motions or something.
It's just it's like.
Isn't it the intention behind it, though?
I don't know how I feel after a workout or even during my workout. You know, the fact that, again, I talk about that focus. It's almost like a meditation. When you're there pushing a weight or you're trying to, you're going for a long run, it's very single-minded. And it doesn't allow the burden to set in from the rest of your life.
I used to
and
feel
afterwards, you're in a place of, I feel anyway, a lot more clarity after I've had a good, intense, like, some people cry after their workouts. Some people throw up. All your emotions come to the forefront.
That used to be I used to channel that into that. It don't work no more.
I was about to say that, what you're talking about works for certain things. Like if you're slightly stressed, brother, if you just find out your woman's giving you bun, you can push as much weight as you want. When the weight finish pushing, bro, the gal giving you bun is still on your head back and you ain't spoke to no one about it. And your shame or your whatever it is, you still ain't deal with the raw emotions of it. So you talking to someone, and it may not even be your friends in this one, bro, because then they're going to look back at you, you still with the gal that was giving you bun, bro. So it may not even be that, like you said, but expressing it, you're going to have to deal with the raw emotion at some point.
I agree with you.
The root cause
what I'm saying is what allows it to come up. And what I found is, for a lot of guys, is training, being put in an emotionally intense situation allows all of that to come up. So that raw emotion sitting there, again, you might have pushed it down. So if you haven't gone through it, I'm just saying I'm using workout as an example because it's an easy one. That's going to be sitting there for a very long time. But actually, do you know what? I've just trained for an hour and a half, however long. This is how I'm feeling. And then it's okay. Then what do we do with that once it comes to the forefront?
Would you not look at it and think about the intention behind what you're doing? I think the intention and the perception of what you're going to do and why you're doing it may assist in that, because you may say that the workout doesn't work, but what is your intention behind going to work out? What is your objective of going to work out? And if you're looking at that then potentially may feed back into what this lady said in relation to doing for self, because that intention is for self. And if gym doesn't work for everybody. I know that categorically. Some people it's cooking, some people it's eating, some people it's going to check some friends, but it's literally about the intention behind it and what is your objective coming out of it. And sometimes it seems very prescriptive in your head. You're thinking, oh God, do I have to do that? But if you don't, you're literally distracting yourself. And again, what we're doing is pulling away from actually focusing, what is this issue that I need to tackle and how do I tackle that?
Root causes. Go on. You came close.
All I wanted to say was, you brought it back to the core, which I think is the awareness is a big part of it. From you're aware of something, really that's half the job done in terms of an issue, right? You know that you've got something going on with you in terms of expressing our emotions, dealing with our emotions. The awareness aspect of it is so massive. It's half the weight. And so then, yes, of course, you're going to do something about it. But it starts there. But I wanted to come and talk because I think it's important to go back to Nee's point. Yes, every individual, even demographically, people got different ways to tend to their emotions and the things that they're going through. But I don't think we should negate, because it sounded like we were starting to kind of negate things like going to the gym, going here, going there. That it kind of is. It isn't, that it also is an equivalent to doing things like self-care, sitting in a salt bath, using aromatherapy oils, using this, using that. Because the thing is, men, statistically, I was listening to this documentary and they were saying men it was about why women, or is it people? Yeah, it was about why people seem to be becoming more lonely. So they were looking at gender differences, yeah? And they were saying men have tended to get together through activities, right? So we're going to do this together, yeah? Boom, da-da-da-da. So they're together. But in that togetherness is where a lot of their socializing and their kind of, their needs to kind of connect with another human being in that way is getting met. So, but yes, women have statistically tended to do it different ways. They will have brunches, they will get together, let's talk, let's do this. But yeah, I just thought that was interesting, that let's not negate and say, oh no, that's not really, you're not going internal enough. You are. There's so many different ways we can go internal. We can chant, we can meditate, we can, as you say, bath, we can eat well, we can laugh, innit? That's why I come here tonight, because I needed a good laugh.
You needed a good laugh.
Yeah, you know, and I had that intention.
Yeah.
So
Love that.
I wanted to say that.
Love that.
I think one thing I would say as a woman as well, like, if your guy, your brother, your uncle, your dad, or a male figure in your life brings something to you, you have to listen as well.
100%.
Like, I think that a lot of the times, because we know what happens when it's done the other way round. Like, if you try and bring something to a guy, he may just be so solution focused, and it's like, I just want to get my feelings out. Like, why won't you just let me say my things? You're already coming up with things that I can do to make this better, and I just want to purge this thing. And I think with women, we've got to learn how to do the same thing as well. We've got to learn how to, like, listen to guys when they're saying things to us, and, like, take them for what they're saying. And sometimes it's just being quiet. Yeah. And maybe even in that time, it's not the time to say something then. Even if you know, like, with the power of, like, being bird's eye view, a few steps back, you might have something that you can say. Maybe not now. Maybe, like, maybe tomorrow when the dust has settled. It's one of the things that I've learned sometimes as well. If you see a guy getting emotional, particularly as a woman, if you rush to comfort a guy, that's silencing him, because he's going to think that you're making him feel uncomfortable because he's releasing all of these emotions. So the first thing he's going to do is just, like,
shut down,
up, stop crying, stop talking. And it's just like, you just have to let whatever is happening kind of thing. And then afterwards you can do the woman stuff. But it's like, when someone gets to that point of raw emotion, allow it.
Okay.
Boom.
Thank you very much. I think, in summary, it is learn to communicate. So sometimes ask the question, do you want to vent, do you want comfort, or do you want solutions? That's what sometimes we have to be more intentional in regards to when people come to us. Yeah? Okay, so that was the last topic.
Was it the last one?
Yeah, I think we need to wrap up. I think we've...
Dion's jogging us on. You see you. You see you. No input for the whole thing, but then you...
She's the boss. She's allowed. So,
in the back.
well, she has the liberty to do that. It's her baby. Love laid bare 5 years. Thank you very much for everybody that contributed to the conversation. It was really, really good. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that was all right.
Yeah,
well done.
It was good. Thank you.
You look backside, yeah.
I didn't do that. I just said.
No, you didn't do that. I'm lying. You didn't do that.